And then, I liked Hulk Hogan. I liked Hercules for a while. The Ultimate Warrior was the next guy that really had me enthralled. Like the Ultimate Warrior was so intense. Before everyone knew who he was the Dingo Warrior doing house show loops before he was on TV with WWF, and I was seeing him there, telling everyone about him that didn't go to the shows but hadn't seen him yet because he wasn't on TV yet. And this guy's so intense, and he's so jacked, so strong, and picks him up over his head, run. I was so wrapped up into him that I used to like cut out. My grandma would always save me the newspapers because newspapers in Detroit always had wrestling in them. So when we would go visit, that's something I would do. I'd go through all the stack, and I would cut out wrestling articles and stuff like that, and I would like tape them on my wall, and like I collected that kind of stuff, even if it was a comic strip, which there was a Dribble or Mr. Drabble, something like that. He was a part-time pro wrestler. Anyway, I would cut out the articles of stories about the shows at the Joe Louis Arena or whatever was going on. And when Ultimate Warrior was there, and there was a story about him in a magazine or newspaper, I would cut it out, and I had like a wall full of him, and that guy really inspired me. So when I started imitating the wrestlers in the kickboxing ring, and me and my buddies would pretend we were wrestlers, I would use a Sharpie and color on my face and put shoestrings on my arms and call myself the Battle Creek Barbarian and do the gorilla press, which I was able to do my weight and then some. So that was always something that I used to be strong at.
How about that? That's
Yeah, that would change though anyway. You know what I mean? But that's basically the rundown, I guess, of people that really stood out to inspire me as wrestlers.
yeah, yeah. When did you kind of realize, like, okay, the Warrior was the Warrior. I love the Warrior, but I'm me, and I gotta be me instead of like that amped up energy kind of thing. Did that kind of like hit you at some point where it's like, ah, that's not who I am, but I really like the Warrior for that kind of energy?
So these were like at the shows before I even met the Sheik. Like we would.
Mhm.
It was the kickboxing shows, so we would choreograph wrestling matches and go out there, and they were probably pretty decent. But I mean, I could tear it apart, I'm sure, and criticize it. But we did a lot of really cool stuff without knowing how to register and sell and how to get the audience's emotion involved. We didn't know any of that stuff. But um, when I trained with the Sheik, I couldn't. I couldn't, beat my chest.
You're like, ah.
He would have choked me out, and um, so it was. It was. I think he brought the me out of me by giving me so much to focus on the foundation of it. There wasn't really room for anything else, and it kind of like kept me fresh and unfiltered and thinking about doing the right thing. And then I came in as a kickboxer. Never really had to put that much character in. It seems like within the first few years, people were giving me props for being chill and relaxed, and then eventually I took pride in that, and thought, wow, I'm going to really, put more energy into that because I'm comfortable with being chill and relaxed, and that's natural for me as opposed to trying to fake something else and try to be intimidating and trying to scare people that I'm actually working with. And it is like that, like even though we work together and we're friends or whatever, you still like have a way man to man when you shake someone's hand. Sometimes you size them up,
Yeah.
subconsciously, especially if you're in the fighting game at all. uh, sometimes, I mean, that happens, like if it's, especially if it's outside the dressing room and you meet someone at a signing or whatever, and you're, whoa, this is a big guy here, like he stands out, like, whoa, he's got big hands like mine. And, he matched my handshake. Like, oh, this dude must be an athlete. There's always like stuff like that. And as far as that goes, for me, sometimes I feel like people that are used to having everyone intimidated by them because of their size, because of their haircut, whatever it is about them,